What's up, guys? We're here with Josh Kirby, running back-to-back regionals. Anything you want to say today? What were you playing?
I played Dragon Link today. I just played like the Bystial type version without the rocket cards. It was really good. It's really fair. Had some cool interactions. Yeah.
Any good matchups?
Lots of good matchups. I built this deck to have like a really good Kashtira matchup with the way that they're playing it with a Rise Heart and just passing on that. So I focused on a lot of ways to get to Gamma and be able to trigger on my turn and stuff.
Is there a lot of ways keeping Gamma up your sleeve? That's your lot of ways?
You'll see when we get into it.
Okay, well, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and well, let's dive in.
All right, so for hand traps and non-engine, I made Gammas, Nibs, and Imperms. Mostly just generic hand traps that kind of overlap versus everything. Nib is mostly just because it's really good to back up your end board. If you're just passing with like Seal and Beast, if you have Nib, it's pretty much impossible to lose to any of the top decks right now. For Bystials, we played 3 Lubellion, 3 Magmut, 2 Saronir, and then one of each of these guys. I like playing multiples of this. This card's really good to open with like Seyfert and a lot of your other dragons and stuff. It gets you to Lubellion, which the goal with this deck is really just to get to Beast and Seal turn 1, and that's usually good enough to beat most things. Like ending on like Seal Drake plus with a Baldrake search just is really good versus everything. With not counting your non-engine, you just beat most decks with that.
Is it good against Labyrinth?
Yeah, against Labyrinth, they have a really hard time dealing with all the advantage you get through cards like Magnamut. Especially if you resolve Magnamut on their turn and search Levy, there's so many ways that you can beat that matchup. Then for normal summons, we played the 3 Seyfert and then 3 Black Metal. Again, you just want to open one of these in a way to Lubellion, essentially, and that's all you're really trying to do on your turn 1s. And then the 1 Red MD for the Black Metals. I played these guys for the Chaos Dragons. Levy can kind of brick sometimes, but it's just the fact that you can search this on their turn and just use it as your follow-up. So if they like, even if a Kashtira player like breaks your board and tries to set something up, if you're searching this, they can't just a Rise Heart pass versus you. So you just win because your graveyard already has stuff. And the last monster, we just played the 1 Samsara Dragon.
What the heck?
I'm playing this for, it kind of comes up with Small World, but it's just nice to use this with like Ravine. So I'm playing the one of Ravine in this as well, even though I'm not playing Rockets, because Ravine helps you get to your Lubellions, it gets safer. Ravine's really good for your follow-up in this deck. And this is just a really good send off of it, because you can add back your dragons. Sometimes it comes up where you can add one back, Tribute over Seal. And then for the spells, so like the spells are some of the best parts about this deck. So 3 space, obviously. Then I played 3 Frost and 3 Small World. So there's not a lot of people doing this in these types of decks. But I found with this Bystial control deck, if you don't open one of your starters, so you don't open one of your normal summons, you're just going to be bricking way too often with this deck. And the way I'm playing it is I'm just trying to get to a normal summon in Lubellion. And these help you accomplish that goal. Plus, if you draw any of these cards, or you prosp into any of these cards, or you prosp into Gamma, if you're versed like just in a Rise Heart pass, it forces their Gamma to trigger, or their Rise Heart to trigger, and then you can chain Gamma to it. And then in the extra deck, I was playing these 2 cards, so that you can make your Gamma on your turn versus the Arise Heart very strong, because you summon this, summon back the Gamma. If they have books and stuff, this forces them to use a book. So not only does your Gamma trade with a Rise Heart, it also trades with a set as well. And if they don't have anything, then you have Baron, which, yeah,
so you're
that's
saying
really good.
Pick up Excel now, is what you're saying.
It's pretty good in this deck. It's kind of just a niche interaction where a Rise Heart's a mandatory trigger, and it makes Gamma really good.
Thanks, JT. Thanks, JT.
Anyways, the rest of the cards I just played, I played the 1 Ravine. This card's really important, and not a lot of the Bystial control decks are playing it, but it helps you get to Lubellion, and it, again, helps with your follow-up, which I kind of discussed earlier. And then 1 of each spell, and the trap. So 43 cards for the main. I'll do the extra deck next, I guess, as well. It's pretty generic. So Striker, Pisty, 2 Seal, the Romulus to search the Ravine, IP. I play the Unicorn just because sometimes if your hand has like Chaos Space and a lot of gas, you can add on like Seal IP with Beast, and then Unicorn just gives you an extra layer of interrupts. Dark, this card is just generic and it's good. There's just random spots where it comes up and takes good cards. Rise Heart. You can take Alubur, and you can use Alubur to search some of your continuous spells and traps too. There's just spots that it comes up.
There's no way that came up.
Not today, but no, it can come up, and it has come up in testing and stuff.
That's disgusting.
The Triple Burst, this card doesn't really come up ever. It's kind of the pretty cuttable, but it's generic. Lets you link climb up and like make access code and stuff. I don't know. It's okay. Not very relevant. Yeah. If you play versus those crooked crook decks, it gives you another way to deal with the crooked crook. These cards, which are okay, and then I already kind of detailed these synchros. These are only for like the gamma lines and stuff, but especially where this deck's really susceptible to like Droll and Lancia or draw phase shifters and stuff when people are trying to play around talents. It just makes leaving your gammas in post side like really impactful. And then on the side deck, we played 3 Ash. This card is mostly for the Despia matchup, but also it comes in if you're siding against like really combo heavy decks that you need to have more hand traps specifically to play against.
So it's cuttable.
It's generic, and mostly I just wanted to have it for Despia, because Despia, even though this deck can play pretty well with it through Bystials, you're not actually playing that many Bystials in this deck. It's only like 7 of them, and if it's not it's not that good.
It's because you're afraid of Despia. I get it. It's okay.
Now that just want to make it the buy. Like I just don't even want to have to think. Then 3 Dark Ruler. This is because Sprite's getting a lot more popular. It's a good Arise Hard out, and it also overlaps with Sprite, which is a deck that I've been seeing a lot more of lately. And again, just want to make that matchup a lot easier. 3 Lightning Storm. And this card's also very good. Like if you draw like this plus Gamma or something against Kashtira, like it's also insane. You want cards that can like trigger their Arise Heart and also make Gammas and stuff live. 3 Skill Drain, God card versus every deck, and then 3 Eradicator to have versus like Labyrinth and versus Runic decks.
Pretty solid. Anything you change here or not so much?
No, I've really been liking this deck. I've been tweaking a lot of different things in testing, and yeah.
Well, thank you once again, and hopefully you do well next time.
Thanks, man.
No shadow.